Welcome to them nerds, bub. That's not me. That's Wolverine. Hey guys, hi. Welcome to another episode of them nerds. I am Tony, and that guy over there is Jerry. And we are here today to talk to you about this movie right here, X2, for today's Throwback Thursday. We brought you the original X-Men movie last week for Throwback Thursday, and we decided we're just going to go a little bit X-Men crazy for the next couple weeks here. Jerry, I watched this thing for the first time since we saw it in the theater for this show, and I have some thoughts. Do you have some thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I think that I always thought the X2 was the better of all three films, of the original trilogy. But I think I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I enjoyed the crap out of it. I forgot how good it was. But now there were, of course, some parts that still kind of gave me that original X-Men movie vibe of like, okay, we're just trying to make an X-Men movie here and not really do anything with it. But the opening scene, and I texted this to you when I was watching it, the opening scene with Nightcrawler bamfing all around the White House is one of my favorite action scenes. It's so good. And it kind of made me think about all the other Marvel hallway fights that we've talked about.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think it's the equivalent when I saw that was similar to when I saw Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past, where he did the whole scene where, he just is slow motion running around inside the cafeteria or inside the kitchen and he's moving bullets and doing this kind of stuff. It's like, it's one of those scenes that you instantly know who the character is.
Right. Because it's something that happens so often in the comic books, and then you get to see it on film and you're like, oh, dude.
And I actually enjoyed how they made the noise. The bamf.
The bamf. Yeah. I thought that Nightcrawler was really well done in this movie.
Oh, yeah. It's very well casted.
Yeah. And even, we talked about poor Halle Berry and her Call Me Now, Miss Cleo accent in the original. And I think she really was a better fit in this film because she didn't have that accent, and she kind of had more of a kind of a sassy sort of vibe, and it just felt like a more natural fit. And maybe that's just because that's kind of how Halle Berry comes off when you see her being like herself.
I also thought was kind of odd was the hair choices for a lot of the main. It was like they all got a especially the females, but that they all got like a gift card to Sally's or something. It was like, what's going on here? They all look like they own a minivan and they're taking their kids to soccer.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned hair because when I was I just write down these random notes when I'm watching these movies. The first thing I wrote down was Nightcrawler opening. Holy, you know what?
Yeah.
The second thing I wrote down was Jesus, Wolverine's hair is bad.
Yeah.
And I know that his hair looks like that in the comics or whatever, but it just looks so awful. Why does it have to look like his helmet? It's just so.
Well, the funny thing was that Kevin Feige fought hard to get that. He wanted that hairstyle. I think also maybe it would have been more believable had they not had a guy whose hair was questionably whether or not it should be styled in that fact, since it was kind of thinning. So, yeah, you got to put bangs on somebody. I don't know if that's always a good look on a man.
Fair point. I also, you mentioned the soccer mom hair. I thought it was odd how they were taking the kids on a field trip to the museum.
Yeah.
It kind of goes right along with the whole soccer mom thing, but
I think wouldn't you say that's because it's supposed to be a school, so it's like, go.
Right.
It was all a point to go there so that they can learn about evolution.
Right.
Yeah.
I laughed to myself during that whole museum thing when Jean started doing this, and I was like, it's the animated series thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh. She didn't make the noise, but in my head she did. So as this film starts to progress, we see Magneto in his plastic jail, and Mystique, of course, trying to figure out how to get him out of there, which she ends up doing in a really super cool way. A really great scene where she seduces the guard in the bar and has him, take these iron tablets. And then
no, those were sleeping pills to put him to sleep, so she can inject him with the iron.
She injected him with iron?
Yeah. When she gets into the bathroom, she flips him over and it shoots at it.
Oh, that's right. She flips him over and takes his dirty underwear out. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I think my daughter might have been awake at that point. Anyway, point being, what?
I'm just laughing at it. He's made her take iron supplements.
Point. Yes, she gave him take
800
your iron
milligrams.
pills. Take your iron pills, honey. At any rate, the point of all this is Magneto found that he had iron in his blood and was able to kind of like pull it out. And then I love the scene of him escaping, where he's kind of floating on the little metal disc and the little balls are spinning around and he's pew 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 all over the place, and good stuff.
I also thought that what was neat about the scene where she injects him is when she goes to inject him, it's actually her skin is the dress, and you see it like go back together. Like,
that's right.
Back into it.
That's right. I noticed that. There were some really like kind of not off the wall, but kind of like understated appearances in this movie that we didn't really, they weren't like really in your face. Like there was a little girl that was passing through walls, right?
Yeah.
We know someone like that.
Yeah.
But they didn't really make a point of being like, hey, that right there, that's Shadowcat.
Or when you hear the screaming when they go into the X mansion, it's Siren.
Right.
Which is Banshee's daughter.
Right. That's right. And we also got to see a strapping young man with his shirt off turn into steel. We also know a guy like that, right?
Yeah, and he actually came back in Days of Future Past to do that role again. But I actually don't mind him, like the look of him, but I felt like they told him like talk as butch as you can, and it came off like very odd, like over here.
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about this. Yeah. We were just talking about this. Deadpool Colossus is best Colossus.
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe we're just jaded because we're so used to that. We end up going to the base at the end. They track down William Stryker, who is using his mutant son to bend the will of mutants to do what he wants. And then, of course, the main mutant that he's trying to make do what he wants is Professor X.
Yeah. Do you think that they utilize the knowledge of X2 to explain the reason why Eric would know how the configuration of Cerebro worked by then utilizing it when they redid X-Men Future Past and everything else, and showing, or X-Men First Class, where they actually show Magneto helping the professor build all this stuff. So that's how he has the knowledge, because it never really made sense why he would know how to make Cerebro work or be able, because like if you're supposed to be foes, how would you know what's going on inside? You don't let your villain come on in and be like, hey, let me give you a little tour.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see this on Zillow?
Yeah. I think they purposely went back and made that a point to be like, this is why he knows all about it.
Yeah.
But
and then there was obviously, I had texted you about when I was watching it that I found one scene where like the kids are trapped in the well, and when they all look up screaming, you can clearly see Nightcrawler inside the cell with them, but they haven't found the kids yet.
Right. Photo evidence will be on screen.
Yeah. But then I was watching, I don't know if we're ready to skip to the end, but one of the very end parts of it, I didn't quite understand it. And I remember when I originally watched it, I didn't understand it either. So Rogue, for some reason, there's a whole moment of where's my car? And also you see the jet fly over the top of the trees and crash into the snow.
Yeah.
And they get into it and they realize, oh no, we can't take off. There's something wrong with I think they said something about
plane parts
flaps or something. I don't know.
The flux capacitor.
Yeah.
Flux capacitor.
Yeah. So they tell like, oh no, we're gonna get swept away. So then Jean has this heroic moment where she like runs outside and like she sends them off, right, using her powers. But she's like one of the most powerful mutants that they have, right? She obviously, there's hints and nods already that there's some kind of Phoenix Force issues going on with her.
Yeah.
She has enough power to go outside, close the ramp before anybody else can get it, lock it, start up all the things to go ahead and get the jet to take off, shoot the jet off while holding back a wall of water.
And communicate telepathically through Professor
and have
X.
A whole monologue through Patrick Stewart. Why couldn't you have done all that from inside the airplane?
I don't know why she had to get out of the plane. I don't know why.
She's not Nightcrawler who's like, I have to see what I'm doing before I can jump through it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you know what the plane looks like, and you know where you're trying to go. It's up.
And she was also powerful enough to stop Nightcrawler from bamfing out to get her.
Yeah. And not only that, but throughout the whole movie, there's things that she's doing where she's stopping people from using their powers. So you can do all that from inside the plane. In fact, you don't have to do anything else but lift the plane up above the water.
Yeah. Who cares what happens with the water if you can get the plane off the ground?
Yeah.
Jean.
You just go, and you're up like, 30,000 knots.
That's right.
I don't know where.
That's the ocean. Whatever. And I think the most unforgivable thing about Jean doing all of that and sacrificing herself is that we had to see James Marsden try to show his tearful emotion through ruby quartz goggles. It was terrible.
To Patrick Stewart.
Right. Patrick Stewart was probably like, get it together, you amateur. All right.
And then I didn't get why was Iceman's mom's only clothes she had left at the house from 1970. Like, that didn't make any sense either.
Well, we like to hang on to our skinny clothes.
Yeah, but you don't think that she's been getting rid of it? Like, that closet must be packed. Just for the last 20 years, she stopped in 1969.
Yes.
Putting anything away.
That's
that
right.
Closet is huge.
Yes. She probably has some, great disco clothes in there too.
And why does your grandma have those gloves?
Maybe his grandma had special powers too.
Maybe so. Why was your grandma a debutante?
She was a high-class hooker. That's what it was. But yeah, we're going to continue with the X-Men theme here on the next couple Throwback Thursdays. We're going to talk about X-Men Last Stand, and then we're going to talk about X-Men First Class to sort of bring it full circle to the sort of reboot-ish kind of part of the X-Men films. But this one right here, to me, so far, of the two that we've watched, this is definitely the higher of the two.
Yes.
By a long shot. And that's not just because it allowed me to do this background and have cool hair and pretend like I have claws. Snicked.
Oh, man.
Bamf and snicked. There you go. All right. Back in the day, I probably would have given it a solid 9 or 10, and I'm still going to give it like an 8 or 9. I think it held up pretty well. Yeah, solid. I was watching it and I was like, this is still good.
I agree.
And I think that they like de-genericified, that's not even a word. They made less generic the characters. They made them a little more relatable and fleshed out, and I thought that really helped it out.
I do see, I was reading a little article from the guy who did the X-Men, the animated series, and he was saying that the biggest issue with the X-Men is that there's so many X-Men, you can't give them the amount of time that you need to be able to build them out. And so I would think that maybe the smartest thing that they could do when they do finally reboot these movies is to split them up into a yellow and blue team. And so that you can give them both, like, maybe, once, like how they do the Avengers, every once in a while, every 5 years, you have a big event where all the team comes together, but during the rest of the time, you're watching the smaller teams building up.
That'd be fine by me.
Yeah.
They're going to do it right. They're taking their time. They're going to figure it out, right?
Yep.
So, all right, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for us here on Throwback Thursday. Join us next Thursday for X-Men Last Stand, where we get to see Jerry's favorite iteration of Phoenix.
Yes.
The maroon trench coat. Phoenix. Don't forget to follow us on social media at We Them Nerds, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining us. Be good to each other. Bye.